Hello everyone, welcome back to Clusterbmilkshake. I am your host, along with him, Mr. Chicken. Yes. Today we are going to talk about you realizing that you might be toxic in your relationship, or maybe you're the toxic one. There's a misconception going around that if you are asking if you are the narcissist, which just means, am I the toxic one in my relationships, does that mean that I'm not? Because I'm asking myself these things? How do you think I found out who I was? I didn't trip and roll or do a cartwheel into some therapist's office. I was not threatened to go and figure this thing out. I started to self-reflect on my own behaviors and journaling and putting a list. He does all this stuff. Oh wait, I do that too. He does this, that. Oh wait, I do that too. And that starts to open up the door to, oh my God, I'm a toxic shit stain. Okay. And then, you want to go and look up how to correct these behaviors. Only diving really deep into those issues did I find out that I actually have a personality disorder. Okay? Now, when you're in a relationship with anyone, are you feeling some ping trigger of being criticized? Are you trying to act like, you don't need nobody and everybody needs to follow your lead? And I'm talking, in a negative sense. Not having a mutual agreement on things and just pointing out things that other people need to do for you to feel calm. And you're going to call this your boundaries, but you don't follow anybody else's boundaries. That's toxic. If you are telling people to treat you a certain way because you don't know how to regulate your emotions yourself and you start blaming them for your feelings, that's toxic. Do you come home and start barking orders? Do you elevate your voice? Are you condescending? Do you know how to communicate with your partner or other people in your life, or are you passive aggressive? Do you give the silent treatment because of anxiety, because you don't know how to speak because you're afraid of rejection? All of these are toxic behaviors. Even being a people pleaser is toxic. Okay? So I'm not coming down on you or saying it's you. I'm saying that usually people who get in toxic relationships, there is some things inside of you, unmet needs, that you're getting from this, or you want to get from the other toxic partner. And this is going to remind you of home and how you grew up in childhood, and you're never going to get your needs met from this toxic person. And they're not going to get their needs met from you either. Okay? Sometimes a very proud woman, somebody who they took care of themselves their whole lives and everything, will get into a relationship with a man who was controlled by mom or controlled by dad. And so they are going to almost be comfortable, it's toxic, but comfortable in that role, and then you guys are going to blame each other. You're going to nitpick him for not stepping up. He's going to nitpick you for being too controlling. But you guys aren't looking inside, okay? Please look inside. Please do some research on better communicating with your partners. If you have fear with that, please look up attachment styles and how to work through that. Look up if, toxic femininity and toxic masculinity traits that can reverse. I can be toxic in both my masculine and feminine energy, and I was not aware of these things. I knew it was a shit, but I didn't know the root cause of these things. Not alone, childhood trauma and stuff. So all of us have things that we need to work on. And as long as you're not just pointing the finger at each other and not looking at yourselves too, things are always going to break up. Okay? I don't want, my fellow narcissistic cluster Bs to have all these broken relationships all the time. I wish that, we already knew this magical shit and that we could get along with our partners without doing these toxic defenses. Either low level or very large, all right? So I always advocate for trying to do these new tools, with your partner. You're basically testing each other to see if you can work through these things together. And if you are at a stalemate, advocate for just having a third party, a therapist. Just be able to guide you. A therapist isn't supposed to be somebody who's only on one side. They're on your side. And they will guide you into helping see the toxic behaviors in each other and how to bring yourself together. And if you can't create that intimacy anymore after the honeymoon stage that everybody has, then you break up. You move on without hate in your heart. Or, I lost what I was going to say, but, at least you brought it up, like you're not taking off and you're not dating other people, realizing that, I got along better with this person, so I'm just going to go back to them. It's saying, do you want to work on this now? Because when you go off to somebody new, there's always going to be the honeymoon period. And then that's going to break down too. You don't need to keep going to different people over and over and over again. You want to work on the things that are broken inside of both of you with each other, okay? So, yeah, the reason why you go no contact is because you tried. But you do want to see your own behaviors in you too. And in my past, I was very aggressive towards my ex-husband. And when I learned to get back into a softer way to speak and communicate my needs without manipulation, we had a way better relationship in that, okay? There's, as I said, there's tons of stuff when you're dealing with a mental health issue, but at least there was peace, in that area. So there is hope if both of you want to work on it. Now, just like I said, when I started to relax and not become so harsh, defensive, and rawr, I asked him that he needs to meet my energy by not being defensive and everything right off the bat too. So I did have somebody that was trying with me at that time, okay? So that's important. If you have a toxic individual that only sees the problem in you, and that could be you too, then there is no hope. Both of you have to take responsibility, okay? I hope that was helpful. Have a great day. Raw dog in the darkness with Cluster B Milkshake. Have a great day. Namaste.